culture?
It's a
No, I
website
feel like
where people post images. It's different. It's like an image board, but it's a lot of weirdos on there, I guess.
on on 4chan and
There's
4chan is it? Where do you find 4chan?
4chan.org, I think.
Oh, it's a like a website on its own.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Org. And there's like a section for politics on there, and people post like crazy stuff. They actually radicalize people on here, try to turn them into shooters.
On where?
On the forum, like they try to recruit people and like I don't know.
So
They're
where?
involved. They're also involved in the gaming community, and they try to like indoctrinate young kids
So where do you
into
get
like
this
a
information from?
I don't know. It's a well-known thing.
So where do you
Into
get
like
this?
a
Well, if it's
it's
well
widely
known.
it's widely it's widely talked about over here at least.
Okay, well, I've never seen it. Maybe it's talked about in your like in IRL, but it doesn't seem to be talked about anywhere on the internet that I'm following or that I'm, you know.
Let's see. It's the whole alt-right community, basically.
Again, I'm not familiar with alt
Internet
right.
subculture.
I'm not familiar with any of that. So you have to explain. Explain me. Explain me good.
Uh, a lot of memes and stuff come from there, like Wojak and Pepe the Frog and Rage Comics and
Jeez.
like a lot of there's a lot of hackers on there, and it's just a anonymous forum for uh
Who goes on?
social out
Yeah, but who?
social outcast degenerates to just
Oh,
post whatever,
so okay? So it's social outcasts that use that platform.
In a large part, I would think.
Oh,
Or they have a large presence there at least.
okay. And who? Do you go there regularly? Do you use it regularly?
No,
Well, who does?
I don't know, like younger kids probably,
Oh, they don't really count.
or like young men, or I don't know.
They don't count either in the big picture. I mean, all the young people do is go out on the street and create havoc. That's all they do.
Let's see. Let's find out what the demographics are.
Okay. Anything? What you got? Nothing. Oh, you're muted.
I think it's like a lot of homeschooled like Christian kids, but it says user base is overwhelmingly young and male. Most users are in the late teens to 18 to 14 to 34 range. Site advertising / estimates put the dominant age 18 to 34 and 70% male. Roughly half the traffic comes from the US, with other English-speaking countries next. And race / its ethnicity data are limited, but research and meme studies show an overrepresentation of white users. They're like, it's like a brat, like a religious rich brat culture, subculture kind of thing. They don't fit into liberal society, and so they go there to like vent and I don't know, just say be degenerates or something.
Okay.
Be racist and whatever's.
Well, these kind of people don't. I don't really follow these circles. So
Yeah, I'm just
yeah.
saying, like, that's the sort of community that this shooter's coming from, or maybe produced him or
Well, it
influenced.
seems to be he seems to be from a totally MAGA family. Like everybody is his father, and everybody's MAGA, 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 or conservative, I should say. Maybe he's just a rebel.
Yeah,
How old is he?
I don't know actually. I think he's in his. They said college age, so probably in
21
his
or something.
20 something. Yeah.
Well, I hope he fries. Personally, I hope it. I hope he. No, I hope he. I hope he fries very slowly.
22.
22. I hope it takes him 22 minutes of burning in hot oil agonizingly until he dies. What's his
Yeah,
name?
that.
What's his name?
Um. Uh. Robinson, Tyler Robinson, I think.
All right, Tyler Robinson, die, you motherfucker, slowly.
Man, the video footage is insane. So gruesome.
You know what? I haven't seen the actual video footage of the shot.
Yeah,
I don't really want to see it.
yeah, you probably don't.
Mm-mm. I've seen everything
But
up until like right before, where they usually stop it, where they usually freeze.
yeah,
So I
I
haven't
mean,
seen it
the
since
guy
then.
had to have been like an expert marksman to make that shot,
Well,
right?
the pictures that I've been seeing on where I've been seeing either Facebook or X or wherever, show
Yeah,
him like back in 2017 shooting like bazookas and rifles and stuff.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, he's must have been pretty good.
Like he shot right at the jugular, or the like jugular vein, artery in the neck. Like it had to be exactly that spot in order to work.
Do you think that he's gonna become a Luigi
No,
in time?
like
Like the Luigi guy that killed that CEO
yeah,
in New York or wherever it was, and
yeah,
in cold blood. I mean, the guy's an absolute
yeah.
murderer, but yet people are elevating him to some kind of a mental piece.
Well, he basically killed a murderer with the healthcare CEO guy that denied people's claims.
That's not a murderer.
I mean, if you inadvertently kill people by denying them their health care that they paid
That's not a
into
murderer.
in order to reap profits, that's essentially murder. He's like a mass murderer.
Who forced them to be part of that insurance company without reading the fine print? Most people who sign on with anything don't read the fine print, so you can't blame the CEO if the customers don't read the fine print.
I don't know if it's in the fine print or
You
not.
don't know. Okay, well if you don't know, then you don't know.
Let's
But
find out.
you can either find out or you can take a calculated guess or an educated guess that yes, it's in the fine print. Therefore, it's not fair. It's not fair to blame the CEO of a company um, for running the company according to the way the company has to be run.
Let's see.
I've worked for companies where there's stuff hidden in the fine print that if you
That's also
copy,
sneaky.
of
I
course
don't
it's sneaky,
know.
but
Yeah.
it's also legal. And unless you can force people to read the fine print and sign that they've read it, there's no discourse. It's buyer beware basically.
I mean, people often don't read the fine print of a lot of different stuff.
Oh, well, they don't, but that's on them.
I don't know. It seems like an unnecessary burden for consumers.
Well, the only reason it's like that is because consumers fuck the companies, and the companies have to protect themselves. So they have the legalese. terms of service, terms of business, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, we need to update our legal the legal language to make it plain and simple. I think for
Well,
people,
what
there's
are
no
you gonna?
ambiguity. There's
How,
no
how are
ambiguity,
you
and
gonna
you know,
contribute? Are you a lawyer? Are you a lawyer? Are you trained in the law and being able to do this?
propose a new system.
Yeah, I mean, are you trained in that? Can you come through?
We could use AI to do that, maybe.
I'm talking about you.
Yeah, I could theoretically
I,
use
I
AI to.
asked no, I asked you if you're a trained lawyer, and you said you
No,
want to use AI. I don't get it.
I could say update the legal system, simplify it, and use it plain English or something. You know,
Oh, is that right?
boom,
Just something like
done.
that, and then it's going to be done. I see. You guys, you young guys are all dreamers. Seriously, no young people. Most young people that I'm coming across on the internet here are pretty clueless.
You think it's not as simple as that?
Of course not.
I gotta like appeal to the gods in order to justify the law.
What law?
That's really what it goes back to, doesn't it?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
All these legal systems is based upon religious law.
It's based upon common law. English common law.
It's in fucking Latin and stuff. It's a
English
whole other
English common
language.
law. I mean, American law is essentially, and Canadian law is essentially um, uh, descended or based on English common law, and there's nothing religious about it.
Maybe it's just old English and stuff. Makes it complicated.
Makes it complicated for who?
Or hard to
For
understand or something.
Well, if you study it, then it's not complicated. If you're just a layman who thinks he's going to read something and not understand it and then have an opinion, well, it doesn't count. That's what I'm saying. People like you and me, we don't count when it comes to doing anything, changing the law or anything to do with bureaucracy, because we're not part of it. We're not lawyers. We're not civil servants. Nothing.
So this comes from royalty, right? Common law, royal judges traveled through the kingdom, deciding cases and recording their rulings.
That's not royalty. That's royal judges. Which, in other words, that's all there was in the land. In other words, the crown, the monarchy, paid these judges. That's what means royal judges.
I'm gonna research the common law real quick. Let's see.
All right.
I asked if there's any religious basis for common law. It says yes, but it's indirect. It was shaped by Christian cultural and legal environment, canon law, natural law theory. It says many early judges and lawmakers were trained in church schools, so Christian ethics and biblical references seeped into legal reasoning.
So where's the common law which says that the punishment for being homosexual is to get stoned by your local community with rocks? Where's the common law say that?
Let's see.
If it stems from religion, where does the common law cover that? You probably wouldn't find it.
Okay, so historically, English common law included prohibitions against same-sex sexual activity, sodomy, or the quote abominable crime against nature.
Yeah, but that's all in the past.
Over time, like you were saying, like modern common law, modern reforms in the 20th century.
Well, the common law that the American law is based on.
Okay, let's see.
I'm sure it's got nothing to do with buggery or sodomy or whatever.
Over here, common law was shaped heavily by statutes and the Constitution, so there's no legal prohibition against being gay.
Right? Exactly. So it's got nothing to do with religion. Like you said.
Originally it did.
Originally you said it's based on religion. Common law is based on religion now, and now we're just showing that it isn't.
Like canon law, church law,
No,
natural
it's
law
not.
theory.
None of that is based. None of the common law is based on canon law. If it is, it's coincidental. For example, if the canon says "do not murder," and the common law says "do not murder," then I guess you've got parody. But
Well, it was shaped by a Christian cultural and legal environment, it says.
what is a Christian legal environment?
Let's see.
You know what the shitty thing is? Is that young people in chat rooms can't have a conversation anymore. They got to go to AI to look up what they're going to say next.
Well, I'm not a legal expert
Is
or
this a
anything like that.
cultural shift? Generational shift? What?
Where non-experts can learn things on the fly. Yeah, that's a new thing.
And it's taking you forever to look up AI. All right, there you go.
Not really. I mean, I told you it was based upon common law. Like that was the environment, part of the environment.
I can't hear you. You're muted or something.
Medieval Catholic Church, right, had its own courts that dealt with marriage, wills, morality, and clerical discipline.
No,
So
you're not.
common law judges borrowed
Somehow.
concepts or procedures from canon law, especially in family and inheritance matters. And then natural law as well, rooted in Christian theology.
I know you're speaking because. Shit. What happened?
Huh?
Hold on a second.
Can you hear me?
I lost my ability. Let me just do this. Hold on. What the fuck happened? Okay, I just want to check to see if I can. Oh shit.
There had to be somebody close by. You know?
Oh, okay. So that I can hear, but I can't hear you.
Check 1 2.
Oh, I can hear you now. Yep.
Okay. So yeah, canon law and natural law, Catholic Church and all that.
Right.
That's where they go. That's what a lot of what common law was based upon.
Yeah, but.
My point was about how modern law is written in dense, technical, and ambiguous language, and it's not by accident either.
You think?
Yep.
So, what do you mean? Like, what particular language are you talking about?
Legalese, as we call it.
Well, yeah, that's what it's called. It's not what I call it. Like when you sign a contract, there's legalese behind it.
I mean, that's why we have these constant lawfare battles between parties, right? Political parties in the U.S.
No, that's not why.
Like, no, we got to go back to what the founders originally meant, you know? This country is only for white property-owning slave owners, you know?
That is a very, very ignorant thing to say, because you know it's not true.
I mean, it was, but we fixed
I'll
it.
show you one black millionaire, and that defeats your whole argument.
Yeah, today.
forever.
Thank goodness we could amend our Constitution, right?
No. When was the last time the Constitution was amended? I'll tell you when.
Mm.
If you don't know when, I'll tell you. The last amendment to the Constitution was July 1st, 1971. Amendment number 26.
1992, 27th Amendment.
Ah, okay. My book is old. What's the 27th Amendment?
It prevents congressional pay raises from taking effect until after the next election of the House of Representatives.
Yeah.
We don't want career politicians making fortunes on,
Too
it's not why
bad.
they're-
It's too late, buddy. They already do.
I know we got to get money out of politics. Everybody wants that.
A lot of
All-
people
all-
go
all
into
sides want
politics.
that.
A lot of people go into politics for the money.
I know that's tragic, terrible.
Yeah, but it's been.
It's
going
supposed to
on
be
for-
a self-sacrifice to serve the public good.
It's-
You know,
That's how it's been going on. It's been happening as long as politics has been happening. There's
Yeah,
no,
we
you
hope-
know, other than people who are very, very wealthy and then they go into politics to make things better, that's very, very rare.
yeah, they're doing insider trading and all kinds of crony stuff. Listening to lobbyists and special interests, like jazz. Corruption. We need anti-monopoly laws, anti-corruption stuff, like
Yeah, but that's
Well-
not, whatever you're talking is not it's not specific to the United States at all.
yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, I would like that, like unambiguous, simplified legal system that everybody agrees upon globally. That would be ideal.
Well, why didn't you write a book with your?
I think I will.
Yeah, write a book, and then you could become famous for your. In 50 years, people will be following your ideas from your book, and politics
Hell
will have
yeah.
changed forever.
Hell yeah! Or just get AI to
Get
write.
AI
up
to
new
write
law-
your book.
No, just get AI to write up new law code and then say, use this one instead, guys.
Uh-huh.
And here's all the citations and evidence to back it up, evidence-based ethics, based laws, and that kind of thing. I think that's coming.
Do you do something? Do you do anything in real life to make things better?
Yeah, of course.
You do? Like what?
Charity and education and work. Stuff like that.
That's very, very. I don't quite understand what you mean. I mean, if you don't do anything, say you don't do anything, but to say you charity and work and whatever, I don't.
Yeah. I contribute.
It doesn't make sense.
What do you mean it doesn't make sense?
I asked you, what are you doing to make the world a better place? And
I mean, it's a
if
broad
you,
question.
if you ask me that,
There's multiple, many things,
what?
There's several different things. It's not just one thing.
Okay. Well, if it's several different things, you could name several different things.
Yeah, like I do work,
Yeah, everybody works, but
I'm
that's
involved in humanist communities. I'm a progressive, I vote a certain way, and
Mhm.
I give back to charity and stuff like that. I want to do more. Of course. I always want to do more. Maybe I will get involved in politics more directly. We shall
Yeah.
see.
Well, yeah.
We have one atheist in our government.
Who's that?
I think he's a California congressman or something.
In
Let's see,
oh,
what's his name?
like in the government itself,
Yeah,
like his
it's like
one of the
it's like
secretaries.
80. What is it? What's the
One of the
demo-
secretaries is one of Trump's secretaries is an atheist. Is that what you're saying?
I think he's a representative from California. Let me see.
So he's not in the government. If he's a representative, he's not in the government.
Jared Huffman, California's second congressional district. He's a humanist and agnostic.
That's not an atheist. Sorry.
Well, you can be agnostic atheist.
Agnostic? No, no. I don't believe that agnosticism is a thing because either it is or it isn't. You can't say it could be one or it could be the other, and I'm on the fence. That's not a position. Being on the fence is not a position. There either is or there isn't. I don't understand agnosticism at all. The only thing I understand is Gnosticism.
It's not knowing one way or the other, right?
Yeah, but that makes you irrelevant then.
Most
It
like
makes you just a listener. You're not a participant.
well, it's like 99% of atheists are agnostic.
How do you know that? Where do you get that information from? How can you just you just threw out a claim there that I'd like you to, if you can, if you can back up your claim with a source. 90% of
Okay,
atheists are agnostic. You just said that. Now,
they don't
now
describe
you want me to believe that,
themselves.
right? You want me to believe that, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Well, let's show me.
but it should be like
It should be
evidence.
no. Don't make excuses for just show me that 90% of atheists are agnostic. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I don't believe it until I'm shown
Well,
something.
I'm trying to explain why that seems like
It's
common
not
sense
something
to
to
me.
explain. It's something that you need to show me. Well, where did you get your figures from?
I mean, it's just observation, direct observation, and common like sense. Very few atheists describe themselves as knowing Gnostic atheists, right? That
And
they
you know
know God, that they know
how
God does not exist.
and how does this? Are you talking about around the world, like in China as well? So you think that all the atheists in China, 90% of them are agnostic? Well, I got something way more interesting.
Yeah, so agnostic, Gnostic deals with knowledge, and
You don't have
atheism
to.
deals
I
with
don't need a
belief.
lecture. Honestly, I don't need to be
It's just a
told.
technical, it's a technical
You don't have
truth,
to try and
right?
educate me on what agnostic is and what it isn't. I asked
Well,
you.
I'm
You made a
explaining why it's a.
claim. You made a claim, and I'm trying to verify the claim. I
Okay,
trust your
well,
claim, but I'm
it's
verifying it.
anecdotal, right? It's
I
anecdotal.
trust your claim, but we need to verify it. So let's do that.
I
How are
made
we
an
going to do that?
anecdotal claim based upon direct observation experience of atheist community.
Where's this atheist community? I haven't seen any atheist community. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
There's all kinds of atheist communities.
You said the atheist community. What are you talking about?
Broadly speaking, like atheists in
So
general
you're
is what I
making a lot
mean.
of claims that you can't back up, basically.
Okay, well, I'll get you
Or should I say that
statistics. I'll get you a study. You need a
find an
study. You need
AI
it.
you
Okay,
can find an AI source to back you up.
I can get you a study from a reputable source, I'm
I'm not
sure.
here for no. I'm here in this room is where we talk. I don't need studies from somewhere else. Either you bring it into the room or you have to forfeit the claim.
I mean, what do you want me to do?
If you just say I pulled that out of my ass. I don't know that the 90% of
It's
atheists
based
are
upon
agnostic.
evidence that
There's
my
no,
personal
or if it's based
experience.
upon evidence, show the evidence.
My evidence is my experience with
Show the evidence. You said
atheists in
it's
general.
based upon evidence.
Yeah, I can't
Show
show
the
you
evidence.
my
Then there's no
experience.
evidence. So there's no evidence.
How am I going to show you my experience?
You didn't say. I'm not asking for your experience. I'm asking for your evidence.
Evidence is my experience, lived experience.
I'm not asking for that. I'm asking for your evidence. What you said. This is what you said. You said there's evidence. I'm asking for that.
Um, like I've talked with a lot of atheists. Um, 99% of the ones I've talked to don't describe themselves as Gnostic. They don't claim to know God does not exist. They either don't know or they believe God doesn't exist. They don't say, I know he does not. It's a rarity
Where do you
in my
stand? What's your
experience.
position?
I'm actually not a Gnostic atheist,
Yeah, I'm
so
a Gnostic.
I do claim to know.
Me too. I'm a Gnostic atheist as well.
And it'd be nice if there was more of us.
There are more of
I
us,
would
I think.
I would wait. My guess, right, is that we're like 1% of the community.
I guess that
I
we're
could
no.
I could be
I
wrong.
think
Maybe we're like 10%.
You are
or
very
something.
wrong. Because
Maybe
if you
we're
think
10%
about it,
or
most
more. I don't know.
people, if most intelligent people, are atheists. Because there's no way an intelligent, rational person will believe that a supernatural dimension actually exists based on zero evidence other than ancient folklore or something.
Yeah, but they base that upon like scientific evidence, naturalism, rather than like a
Naturalism
philosophical.
doesn't show the supernatural at all.
I know, but I would wager that they rarely say that based upon some philosophical position that they've come to.
Yeah, but philosophy is not is
But
just
upon
thought.
like strict logic
Philosophy
and
is just thinking, thought experiments, and talk. That's it.
well, logic is the only way we can prove things.
Exactly. So logically, there is no supernatural because energy
Right.
is fundamental.
But I think most people haven't put that much thought into it, the logical
They,
contradiction of it.
most people have not put any thought into it, but most people have been told what I'm saying, but they just poo-poo it. No, 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 without thinking about it. They just dismiss it.
Will they dismiss?
Energy is fundamental. They dismiss that
Hmm.
because the only way you can introduce a creator into the conversation where energy is fundamental is to be ignorant, basically, to allow yourself to be ignorant.
Hmm. What if they describe God as some energy?
Why would you describe energy? Why would you use? Okay, you got the word energy.
Like he's like the
You got the
source of
word.
the
You got the
energy or
word
something,
energy. You got the word light. You got the word gravity. You got whatever. Okay, why would you call energy God? And you wouldn't have another word for light. You wouldn't have another word for gravity. You wouldn't have another word for electricity. It's
Mhm.
just what it is. Now, when it comes to energy, you're going, God, but
It is
it
kind of a
doesn't mean anything.
rudimentary. It is kind of a rudimentary definition of God as like the source power behind reality or something like
And
that.
how did this God come into existence? Yeah,
He's
I mean, it's a
eternal.
source. You said it's a source, right? So where's the source? What's
Like the
the
source of
origin
the
of the
source of the
source?
energy, like the source of the life that's within us and the energy power
You
behind the
don't,
universe.
why?
Kind of.
Hold on a second.
That's like
You're
that's how they would.
jumping. You're jumping ahead. The life that's in us has got nothing to do with the energy that is fundamental, because the life that's in us has only been in us since we've been around as a species, which is I don't know, less than 1,000,000 years, let's say. It doesn't matter because the universe is 13 billion or 14 billion years old, as far as we
Yeah,
know. So our million years of existence has got nothing to do with uh, with life. Life
I'm just
exists.
saying like how they
Life,
see
if
it.
you're saying intelligent life or biological life, that's not something that only came later.
Yeah,
So where's your
they don't make a distinction, right, between like forces of nature and life within humans, or They see God as the source of all of that.
Who does? Who does?
Classical theist, right? He's like the first cause,
Where do you, man?
the prime mover
You're
of
just
of
really
reality, right?
you're
The ultimate
confusing me, man.
reality.
You're confusing. You're making all these ridiculous, all these claims. I should say, not ridiculous, but you're making all these claims that I don't understand, I don't agree with, and I need to know where you get your source from.
Goes back
Because
to like
other than that, you're just throwing out epithets.
God is like the fundamental power of all in all reality, ultimate
Fantastic.
reality.
Where does God come from?
I mean, they say he's eternal, absolute,
Okay, but
the ground of all being. You know,
okay,
you've heard
all
of all
right,
before.
fantastic. Where's he come from?
He's
How did he get
eternal,
to,
so
how did he get to be how did he get to have this intelligence?
it's inexplicable. It's it's just
So in other words, energy being
he's always
fundamental
been that
is not
way.
good enough. The energy that is fundamental as an explanation for existence is not good enough for you. It's not good enough for anybody. You've got to introduce a question mark.
He's got to have he's got to have other attributes, right? He's got to be all knowing and all seeing.
Yeah, but that's all made up.
All good and all powerful. Not
That's
just
all made
energy,
up.
right?
Yeah, okay. If that's the case, if God is energy, then God is a cunt, because energy is what. Or should not energy, but the universe is not made for humans. It's very hostile to humans.
Yeah, everything's trying to kill us, basically.
Right. So God is a murderer. If God is
Well,
energy, if God is energy, and everybody's trying to kill us,
I'm
then
playing
God's trying to kill
I'm
us.
playing devil's advocate, right?
I got you. I got you. I understand.
They would say, well, that's because humans sinned, and that it's a fallen world that doesn't support life anymore. It's a fallen. It's a.
How we get that? Okay.
It's a fallen world.
I just wish
So
you were.
all of creation has fallen.
I
Right?
just wish.
Animals.
I wish you were a theist.
I could make it probably a decent case, for theism, or it would be a difficult one.
All right. Okay. Let's do that then. Let's play devil's advocate.
You just gotta be like, I don't know.
Okay. I'll be the theist. If you don't want to be the theist, I don't mind.
No, I can do it. I'm just thinking, like, the more ambiguous you are, the more like plausible it sounds, right?
So let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Theist. Would
Yeah.
it make sense that the creator God of the universe there can only be one?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's only one source.
There's only one. Okay, so there's only one source of creation for all of the universe, and that is God.
Mhm.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'll give you that. So let's understand. There's one God who created the universe. So therefore, there should be one religion that follows the creation story of the God who created the universe. That's kind of a natural, a logical flow. One God, one religion. Doesn't that make
Well,
sense?
there's only one true religion, right? And that's Christianity, of course.
Okay. I
All the
bet you.
others
I
were
bet
created-
you know
were
what?
created
If
all
you
the others
ask
were created by Satan.
if you
or
ask any
something.
Christian, they'll probably agree with you.
All the others were created like deceptions by Satan or something.
Oh, I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you that, Mr. Christian. Um, where where does Satan come from? How did Satan
Well,
come into
originally-
existence?
Originally, he was an angel in heaven that got ideas of his own and became prideful, boastful, hubristic, and therefore he was cast out.
Where were his
Cast out-
parents?
cast out of heaven.
Where were his
Or prison.
parents? Where were his parents at this time? Why wasn't he being looked after? Why wasn't he being monitored? How did he get out of control so much?
Well, he was the angel that covered God's throne.
I understand that,
so
but how did
so
he
he
become?
was-
If God is so
he was with- he
powerful,
was with
why
his
doesn't
parent,
God
you know?
control his children, especially his angels? I mean, They're the most easiest to control over humans. So-
Or like, why wasn't he a better role model so that
No,
like
why is
Lucifer
God so weak
wouldn't have
that he
some?
couldn't control his angels?
Well, they have free will, so they can do
The
whatever they
angels
want
have
to do.
free will?
Yeah.
Then what's the point of angels? What's the point of humans and angels? Why don't we just forget about the
To
angels?
to freely choose God, out of our own goodwill kind of
No,
thing.
that's us. But these angels that you speak of,
Yeah, they don't have to be there. One third. He convinced 1/3 of the angels to go with him and rebel, and there was a war in heaven between Michael, the archangel,
oh jeez,
and
really?
Lucifer, and 1/3 of the angels. They joined forces and
Sounds like
were cast down to earth. We're
sounds
cast
like
down to earth,
sounds like
and then
sounds like any Hollywood movie of the in the
yeah,
last 20
and then they
years.
saw human women, and they were like, oh, they're hot, and they interbred with them and created giants, and the giants went around eating people, and therefore God had to create a flood to wipe the giants out, and
Oh
cleanse the
yeah,
land.
yeah, yeah. Totally logical.
That's literally just how the story goes, but it's like neglected. You don't hear it, in
Because it's so
churches.
ridiculous.
Yeah, they leave the ridiculous stuff out. The mythical beasts, the Leviathan and Rahab and
So you do you
Behemoth.
are you of the opinion that they cherry pick?
Yep,
No shit,
100%.
eh?
They try to make it sound modern and plausible,
Yeah.
and all about Jesus, not about the Old Testament.
Even though but as soon as we say, Jesus is his existence itself is in question, and
I think he was.
instead of them being okay, well, let's be reasonable and let's discuss it, they go absolutely ballistic and call you a Satanist and do whatever they have to do to.
What'd you say again? I was kind of missed that part about Jesus. What'd you say?
I said Jesus is a myth. Jesus didn't exist. And if I put that to any Christian that Jesus didn't exist, they will not say, "All right, let's discuss this logically and historically, and let's use Occam's razor, and let's just
Well, I mean,
let's take the let's
that's an easy
why don't
one
you let me
actually.
finish? Let's take the contemporary writings about Jesus and study those, because those are the only ones that are worth studying. Anything else that comes later is questionable. So let's look at the
Yeah,
contemporary writings around the time of Jesus. Well, let's see. Uh-huh.
we got we.
Okay, I see. Now, okay, now we've got everything around the time of Jesus that was written has no reference to Jesus.
Well, we have the four gospels. We got Tacitus and
I said, I
Eusebius.
said, I said, I said, and you didn't hear me, but I said contemporaneous to Jesus' life. I didn't say it, and I
During his
specifically
lifetime.
said not to count anything that comes later after he's dead.
Okay. Oh.
So contemporary means,
Mhm.
during his lifetime.
Well, you see, the Old Testament prophesies his existence, that he would come, and
So
he
was
was
that written during his lifetime?
no
Then,
before.
then, then, then let's, then why don't you just humor me and just stick to the question that I'm asking you regarding the contemporary
Well,
writings about Jesus or by Jesus during Jesus' lifetime.
that might be
There,
within the Dead Sea Scrolls, or the teacher of righteousness,
the Dead Sea
something like that.
Scrolls was
Let's
had
see.
nothing to do with Jesus. Those are the Essenes or something. They are a Jewish sect and way before Jesus anyway. They've been around forever.
Uh,
So
trying to see
I'm talking
this.
about contemporary. During the time when when the alleged Jesus, the mythical Jesus, was supposed to be alive. I want to know. Can you point me to any contemporary writings, either by Jesus, about Jesus, anything, just one thing. No. Oh, you're doing AI? Okay. So there's nothing. So you can debunk Jesus right there. It's all made up.
So the Dead Sea Scrolls contain messianic expectations of a priestly or kingly deliverer. Apocryphal pseudographical works. Most were written earlier, 2nd century BCE, or slightly overlapping his time.
2nd century BC is from the year 100 onwards. This
very low.
guy, this Jesus dude, this mythical Jesus was predicted to have died in 30 or 33 CE. Not 100 CE is 70 years after the fact. 70 years is a lifetime for.
Okay, so I guess it's mostly the Dead Sea Scrolls.
But the Dead Sea Scrolls are not.
Some scrolls were likely being written or copied during his lifetime.
When were the Dead Sea Scrolls written?
Varying dates between 200 BC and 50 CE. It says some scrolls were likely written or copied during his lifetime, and they contain
but they had nothing to
messianic
do.
Expectations.
Right, that was the Jewish part. That was just Judaism. That had nothing to do with
he's a Jewish Messiah. Like, it's a Jewish movement.
He wasn't part of it. He wasn't part of the movement.
You don't think Jesus was Jewish?
I think you're trolling me.
What do you mean he was not part of it?
I think you're trolling me. That's what I think.
What
you're not hearing, you're not listening to anything I say. You're not responding to anything I say. And I think you're trolling me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prove...
Well, you're not explaining yourself. What is he not a part of?
I said to you that Jesus wasn't part of the sect that wrote the Dead Sea Scrolls, and then you said to me, "Oh, you don't think?" And then you said to me, "Oh, you don't think Jesus was Jewish?" That's got nothing to do with the Dead Sea Scrolls.
We don't know if he was part of like that community or not. We know.
Well,
scholars think.
Look, the Dead Sea Scrolls. The Dead Sea Scrolls exist. Jesus didn't exist. That's the difference.
Why would you think he didn't exist? That doesn't make sense.
But why would you think he did?
Because there's evidence for it.
That's what I said to you. Okay, now you're bringing me all the way around, full circle. Show me the contemporary evidence for Jesus' existence. And you haven't been able to do that before. I've shown you that there's no evidence for him, and yet you still say to me, how can you say that Jesus didn't exist? You see, like you've been indoctrinated.
Why are you restricting it to
You've been indoctrinated.
Why are you restricting it to contemporary
You have been indoctrinated to somehow know gnostically that Jesus existed.
No, it's just.
Then why do you say? Why do you say? How can I say that Jesus didn't exist? Why did you question that?
Because there's a high probability of it with the evidence. It doesn't have to be written.
Excuse me.
It doesn't have to be written at his lifetime.
Excuse me. Did you just hear what you said? Did you just hear what you said? There's a high probability that Julius Caesar existed. Is that does that make sense?
Yeah.
There's a high probability that Julius Caesar existed. It's not absolutely proven.
There is no absolute. There's no.
All right. Okay. Well, then you're talking at a level that I'm not familiar with and not really interested in, to be honest with you.
Like, is there absolute proof? I don't know. Maybe not.
I'm going to go and there's something I've been meaning to screen for a long time. Have you ever heard of James Valiant?
Yes.
Have you ever heard? Are you familiar?
He's a quack. He's a Roman provenance guy.
He's a what?
From history. Roman provenance. Ridiculous theory.
What does that? Okay, what does that mean? Explain to me.
Oh, that like Paul was a Roman psyop. It's like a Roman agent, secret Roman agent, and the Flavian dynasty created Christianity and stuff like that.
Yes. That's exactly what he says, and I that's exactly what happened. Have you ever what? Are you just bringing up talking points that you've heard from Valiant,
I
or
no,
have
no,
you
I
actually
know.
watched his? What, have you actually watched his documentary?
Yeah, I've watched the other guy, a Providence guy.
Don't stop it, stop it, stop it. If we're talking
He's
about
the head.
James
He's the head
Valiant,
guy that
if you're
his work is
talking about
based
James
upon.
Valiant, stop fucking with me and saying you've watched somebody else.
Well, I watched the guy whose his work is based upon.
Nah, no,
Caesar's
you're full
Messiah,
of it. You're full
Joseph
of it.
Atwill.
I never heard of him. You're full of it.
Caesar's Messiah. That's a famous film.
No, I don't. I'm actually not having a good time anymore. Now you're not being fair to me, and I don't like being trolled. So
I'm not trolling.
yeah, you're trolling.
Roman provenance is not taken seriously within scholarship.
Okay, well that's a lie. That's an absolute lie.
Why do they come to the conclusion?
Show me the fucking proof. Show me the evidence. Whenever you make a claim, you're embarrassing yourself because you don't even understand what Roman provenance is, and I don't even think it's a thing. Roman provenance, just because it originates out of Rome, so it's not true. Is that what you're saying? That's what I understand Roman provenance. It originates out of Rome. And the way after the breakup of the Western Empire, the only thing left intact after the Roman Empire collapsed was the church structure. And that's how from that point on, from that seed was where the Jesus story was actually made up and disseminated.
Well, let me ask you: is it a problem for you personally if Jesus did exist? Does it cause an issue for you?
That's a silly question. Jesus didn't exist.
Like, do you have a personal attachment to him not existing?
Why would I?
In order to hand wave him away.
No, there is no evidence for him existing. I'm not saying that there's proof for his existence, and I just don't I don't accept the proof. The thing is that there's no proof. All you're coming up with proofs that predate or post-date.
I didn't claim there was proof.
Then there's no Jesus. Then there's no Jesus.
I said there's evidence which leads to a high probability.
That's high probability is not proof of existence.
Yeah, but doesn't mean you can outright dismiss it. The idea.
Why not? It's not proof of existence.
You have to have stronger counter evidence.
It's an Occam's razor. It's an Occam's razor that you just dismiss. There's no proof. There's no evidence.
The simplest explanation is that he did exist based upon the evidence.
I'm asking you, where was the evidence? What is the evidence for the? I've asked you at least 3 times, what contemporary evidence is there, and you haven't come up with any. Now all of a sudden you say he did exist because of the overwhelming evidence. So which is it? There is none. There is no evidence. Standard. There is no evidence, or there is evidence. Make up your mind. Because one time you say you agree with me that there's no evidence, and now you say I'm an idiot for saying that Jesus didn't exist because of the evidence. Come on, what's the evidence?
You're demanding a specific type of evidence.
Yeah. So, evidence of existence is not a specific type of evidence.
You're saying it has to be contemporary writing.
Yes, of course it has to be contemporary.
It has to be
otherwise,
during his
it's not. It's not
100%.
If it's not contemporary, it's made up. Because you know very well that as soon as you start playing the whisper game, you whisper something to one person and they pass it down the line. By the time it gets to the end, the message is totally messed up. It's totally different. So that's the way Jesus worked. And I'll tell you one thing: that in the very
Well,
beginning of Christianity, the Jesus wasn't a real person. Jesus was a myth, according to Paul. Even Paul didn't see Jesus, even though he lived at the same time. He just saw him in the as an apparition.
so
So
what
that
is it? What
shows
was he
you
like
right
an
there.
angelic figure?
That shows you right there that Jesus did not exist because somebody, Paul, who did live during the time of Jesus, never wrote a damn word about Jesus during Jesus' lifetime itself. Nothing. Even nothing. So there you go. There's no evidence for Jesus. Jesus didn't exist. End of story.
So he's just like a ghost or an angel that they're talking about or something, some phantasm.
What is Harry Potter? Is he a ghost what is Harry Potter? A ghost or a apparition or a phantasm?
He's a fictional character
That's what Jesus is.
from the get-go,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. That's what Jesus is.
Um, but it's not portrayed as a historical figure either.
No, he's
So
Jesus.
the Gospels are written like
Jesus is not
Greco-Roman.
portrayed as a historical figure either. He's portrayed as a religious figure.
The Gospels are best classified as Greco-Roman biographies.
The Gospels don't count because they were written after the fact. They were written at least 50 years after, at least 20 years after the alleged death of the mythical Jesus. So they don't count.
Unless
They
we're
don't
talking
count
about
unless
Paul,
you're talking
right?
about somebody. Huh? Yeah.
Unless we're talking about Paul.
Paul. Yeah.
Paul's letters.
Paul never said anything that Jesus did actually lived. Was a person. Paul only wrote about Jesus as a heavenly figure. Right?
Paul affirms that Jesus was fully human. He was born, suffered, and died.
Where does he say that?
Romans, Corinthians.
He's such a liar.
Romans 5:15 through 19, and 1 Corinthians 15. Paul emphasizes Jesus' death and resurrection as real events.
Yeah.
This is a trilingual guy. He spoke Aramaic, Hebrew, and Greek, or whatever.
Well, I'm not surprised that he spoke Greek
Or-
because
or
all
Roman,
the Jews were either ultra religious or they were Hellenistic. You didn't know that, did you? You thought all the Jews were the same. Well, they're not. The Hellenistic Jews were kind of more Hellenized and sort of
Yeah,
less
I know.
religious. They were more they weren't. Yeah, let's say they were more secular than than the religious ultra orthodox zealots.
hmm
So
They say Paul was a Pharisaic type of Jew, I guess.
you don't know. You don't guess. I'm not interested in guesses.
I mean,
Yeah. Well.
guessing based upon evidence. I don't have absolute certainty. We don't have records like of Paul.
Guessing
like,
based upon evidence.
some people think Paul didn't exist.
You actually said that. What?
An educated guess. You never heard of that?
You didn't.
Some people don't even think Paul exists. They think he's a myth.
Okay.
So,
well,
like,
I'm
where do
with
we go
them.
from
I'm
there?
with them. I'm with them. I think Paul's a myth as well.
What was the motivation to create a fictional Messiah that didn't occur in history? Like,
Do you know? Do you know the history of Judea in the first century? In the first half of the first century, or in the first 3/4 of the first century? Do you know the history of the clash between the Romans and the Jews? Do you know how immense
Okay.
that was? Do you know how destructive that was?
okay, let's say it's a Roman psyop. Most Jews never converted, right?
I don't care.
It's a small minority community that were Christians. That's why they went to the Gentiles, and appealed to them instead.
Nonsense.
Through Paul, primarily, right?
I don't know.
Paul's
I'm not a
mi-
Christian.
Paul's mission to the
I
Gentile.
don't know the Christian fictional stories. I don't really care.
Well, okay, when in Paul's writings, he preaches to the Gentiles. He goes to the Greeks and talks with them. You know, he's like, you guys worship the same God we do. You just don't know it.
There is one. That's the problem. That's the problem with these people. There should only be one God. There cannot be more than one creator. I don't understand how
According to
that
monotheism.
even Jesus says, "Worship me and don't worship other gods." It's just not it's not believable. I mean,
Did he say that?
would you accept that?
I don't know if he says that or not, but he says, ye shall be as gods. Like, isn't it written that ye are gods? He's talking about multiple.
I'm not a religious scholar because I don't want to waste my time with fiction.
Okay, well, Jesus talks about gods in general, multiple, like that his followers will become gods.
So if Jesus, hold on a second, if Jesus talks about anything, that means that there are contemporary writings. In other words,
the scriptures,
somebody was there during the time when Jesus was alive, and he was speaking, and somebody was writing down what he was speaking. That's what you're telling me. Because Jesus said something.
I'm saying according to Scripture, this is what he says.
We've already discounted Scripture. You can't use Scripture because it came in too late. It's fiction. Scripture is fiction.
Well, I guess Socrates is a fiction because he didn't write anything himself. Just like Jesus didn't write anything, or at least that we know of.
So but you just said the words of Jesus. You said Jesus said
There's
Jesus said this and
there's lots
Jesus
of
said that.
historical figures.
You said
There's
that.
lots of historical
You
figures that
said
were only
Jesus
written.
said this and Jesus said that. And how would we know it if nobody was there to record it? Because there are no contemporary writings from the time of Jesus. So where do you get your information from? Again, don't go to the scriptures because we know the scriptures were written way long after this alleged mythical Jesus was unalived by.
Do you think there's no other historical figures
by the great Roman Empire? And we're not going anywhere. We're talking about Jesus, and we're talking about evidence. And to go somewhere else and to give me the whataboutism is unproductive.
No, it's if you're going to hold to this standard, then there's lots of historical figures we could say didn't exist because they didn't have contemporary writings to support them.
Oh, and how many of them claim to be God?
What does that matter?
I'm asking you, how many of them?
That's a theological claim.
That's the only reason. That's the only reason that we're discussing Jesus is because of the claim to be God, even though he didn't exist. Okay, so to talk about other people that you don't think existed is fine, but they didn't make any claims that we need to discuss.
I don't think
either they exist or they didn't exist. They're in the story.
I don't think he claimed to be God himself. I think they just wrote.
You don't. You see, this is what you think. I'm not interested in what you think. I'm interested in what you know.
Based upon evidence.
You don't think because based upon evidence because you haven't presented any evidence.
I mean, your standards are unrealistic. It's not a reasonable standard. They have an oral tradition before it's written, obviously.
So
right?
What?
You don't think there's an oral tradition before they wrote the stuff down?
Everything was an oral tradition.
We don't even know how early the earliest gospels were. The ones that are lost to history and stuff. Well, we have reason to think there was other gospels.
So other people wrote stories.
Contemporary ones. Other
people wrote stories. And if you think they're the contemporary ones, then you got to show me. You can't just say, "Oh, there has to be," because of no reason.
They got lost to history. Maybe the church destroyed them or something. I don't know.
There was lots of shit that was lost to history. You know what? A lot of stuff was after 325, after the Council of Nicaea. A lot of stuff was destroyed.
But what do you
think of Arianism?
The Arian heresy thingy within the church.
What do you think of Arianism?
I forget about what it's about. It's like
essentially the Council of Nicaea. There were two sides. There were two.
They say claim he wasn't divine, right? It was,
I can tell you
Fully-
if you want.
I'm asking if I'm
I'm
correct in my
I can
recollection
tell
of
you. I
Arianism.
can tell you what I'm telling you if you want. Okay, so the Council of Nicaea was essentially the Emperor Constantine. He saw that there was all these different Christianities in the empire, and he was sick and tired of all these different Christianities, and they bickering and fighting with each other. And he said, "Okay, that's it, done. I just want you to make up your mind which Christianity you want everybody to follow." I mean, it's a dumb thing for him to do and a dumb thing for him to say, but that's what he said. And so he
So the
invited,
Arians,
and so he invited all the bishops in the empire to come to Nicaea, and not all of them came. All right. So those that did come were basically representing one of two sides. One of
yeah,
the side that Jesus is all Jesus and God are the same, and the
part
other
of a
side,
trinity.
and the other, no, Jesus is one with God. Jesus is God, and the other side was saying that that first there was God, and there was a time when Jesus wasn't. So there was God,
Right.
and then there was Jesus. That's
Yeah.
Arianism. Now, what happened at the Council of Nicaea was that the Orthodox, the people who said no, Jesus is God, one with God, won out over the logical conclusion that God was first and then came Jesus, which makes sense, and that should be the orthodoxy of today. I think it is in certain Christianities, certainly in Arianism.
Arianism rejects the traditional notion of the Trinity, teaching that Jesus was created by God and is therefore distinct from God.
Exactly, which makes sense.
I think where this Christian stuff comes from is in late Second Temple Judaism, they had a two Messiah or two powers in heaven theology. It's like a God and the word of his word, the logos kind of
I
stuff.
have no idea what you're talking about.
That's just a side note.
You see, the thing is, I don't really care about the Gospels and about the Scriptures and about the stories. I'm just focused on whether Jesus existed or whether Jesus didn't exist. Ever since I've been alive and have been, I've been, I've never believed he existed, ever.
Okay.
I never believed that anything like God or anything supernatural existed. Nothing. So Jesus doesn't, it doesn't make any difference.
Well, a
It's
person
so-
a human being existing historically is not supernatural.
a human being existing
Jewish
historically,
preacher in the first century.
a human being existing historically is not God.
Well, that's a second. I'm not making that claim.
Okay, so Winston Churchill existed historically, therefore he's God.
I'm not saying Jesus was God. I'm just saying he existed as a human being
Well,
historically.
then where's your evidence that even Jesus the human being existed? I mean, there's less evidence of that. Where's your evidence that where's your evidence?
qualification-
Where is your historical evidence, verified, accepted historical evidence that Jesus Christ, the human being, existed?
Your qualification for evidence is
I'm
that
asking you. I'm
contemporary
asking
writings
you.
from his
I'm
time.
not asking you to contradict me. I'm asking you, where is the evidence that Jesus Christ, as just a human being, existed?
So the Gospels, Josephus, Tacitus, other historians, early church fathers. There's probably archaeological.
Oh,
evidence.
so they all said that Jesus wasn't God. He was just a dude, just some guy from Judea. I don't.
Yeah,
think
they
so.
didn't record him
Exactly.
being a god. They just said that Christians existed.
You're so full of it. I mean, you're doing a very good job of being devil's advocate, I must say.
They didn't
Not a
claim he was
great job,
God,
but
no.
a very good one.
Him being like early Christians didn't
I
believe
bet
he
you
was
I
God.
could be a better a devil's advocate for Christianity than you.
So we have evidence that early Christians did not believe Jesus was God. He's just a
Is that what
Messiah.
is okay? Where is that evidence? What is that evidence
The
called? Is it a
like
gospel? Is
Eusebius,
it scripture? Is it something that was written way
historians
long
like
after Jesus died?
Eusebius, I think, writes about the early Christians. What are they called?
Writes about what?
Or different groups of early Christians, Ebionites. They were followers of James, his brother.
How do you know James is his real? He's a brother. James and if James was a person who met
He's
with
written
people,
as such.
right?
In the
If James was a
scriptures.
person who met with people, and he was Jesus' brother, and he says he was Jesus' brother, how does he prove he was Jesus' brother? If James is a real person, how do we know that James
Uh,
actually existed?
Maybe he's got a family tree or something. I don't know. Records.
We don't know exactly. We don't know that James existed. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Exactly.
And if James didn't exist and Jesus didn't exist, all the Christians should be very embarrassed right now. If they can't prove a damn thing. All it is claims. Specious claims.
Apparently,
based
like
on
strong
nothing.
historical evidence is just claims. We have the evidence. It's not a claim.
If you have evidence,
We
show
have
it.
the evidence.
We do not have any.
We have the evidence. We have the evidence.
I asked
That
for
is not a
conte-
claim. That's
Where's
not a
the-
claim. We have the evidence.
Just saying you have the evidence doesn't prove you have the evidence. Show me the evidence.
He's mentioned multiple times in the Gospels.
I
You
told
reject the
you.
Gospels
You know what? I think you're deaf or something. I swear. I said to you, the Gospels don't count. The Gospels were written way
It
after
doesn't
the
have to
fact.
be
We don't know who
contemporary
wrote the
writing.
Gospels. Probably, millions of different people wrote the Gospels. It's not. It doesn't count. The Gospels are just a bullshit story written way after the fact.
50 BC, I mean AD.
50 AD is
55 AD.
27 years after the mythical Jesus was allegedly killed by the Romans.
So what?
So that doesn't count. It doesn't fucking count.
Because of the game of telephone? You think it's
Because it was
works by the
written
game of telephone?
27 years after the fact. And there's nothing before the fact. There's nothing before the 27 years. So there's nothing before the 27 years.
So it's magically not evidence. It's
It's
magically not evidence at that point.
it's not evidence, exactly.
It's evidence.
It's not evidence.
It is evidence. You
It's
don't
not
think it's strong
evidence.
evidence.
It's not evidence.
You don't think it's strong evidence.
It's
but
not
it is
evidence.
You're just denying. You're in denial. Galatians isn't evidence.
You're in denial because you are ignoring the fact that there's
Historian
no.
writings aren't evidence.
You're in.
Josephus isn't
you-
evidence. Early church fathers isn't
No.
evidence.
Josephus is not evidence. Exactly. Contemporary evidence is evidence.
James died in at a certain date, right? They could record
I have
that
no idea.
during his lifetime.
Oh yeah, show me that you know that James even existed. How do you know that James even existed?
They recorded his death.
Where? Oh really? Where did they record his death?
Josephus, a historian, the most prominent historian ever.
So Josephus recorded James's death.
Yeah.
A lie. You're a liar.
Antiquities of the Jews.
You're a liar.
Antiquities of the Jews. That's his book. The
Yeah,
brother of
and-
Jesus who is called Christ.
So the Jewish history stretched back millennia before Jesus.
He was stoned under the high priest.
35.
He was stoned under the high priest Ananus around 62 CE.
Who was?
James.
Nah, bullshit.
You don't think we have evidence for the other
Yes,
apostles?
I don't believe anything. No. I do
What?
not.
What?
There is no contemporary evidence, then there's no evidence at all. If there's no contemporary evidence, there's no evidence. It's very simple. It's a simple logical conclusion. No evidence, no contemporary evidence means no evidence. No archaeological evidence which would back up anything to do with the Gospels. Nothing. There's nothing.
Well, I don't have evidence. I guess I don't have evidence you existed because I don't have it contemporary right in this second.
I'm not claiming to be God. Doesn't matter to you if I exist or not. Doesn't matter to any
Why does
Christians
it
whether I
matter?
exist or not.
Why does a claim matter about somebody existing historically if they claim to be God or not?
Because they didn't exist at all.
So David Koresh didn't exist. He claimed to be God. He claimed to be Jesus reincarnated, right? Or second coming of Jesus.
How do you know that?
How do we know the Seventh Day
How do you know
Adventists?
How do you know that David Koresh claimed to be God?
Because we have him on video, like we have records of it.
Ah,
we have their belief statement.
okay, all right, okay, good. So there's evidence. Gotcha. Now, back to Jesus. Where's the evidence?
You said if he claimed to be God, that you can dismiss it.
I said he doesn't exist at all. And you said to me that, oh, so you think that David Koresh doesn't exist? Because he claimed to be. No, you said to me, David Koresh doesn't. You said you think David Koresh doesn't exist because he claimed to be God. And then I said to you, okay, how do you know that he claimed to be God? And then you said, oh, it's on video. Okay, so I said, there's evidence. Fair enough. Now back to Jesus claiming to be God, or even anybody claiming that Jesus existed. Where's the evidence? There isn't any.
History doesn't work off of contemporary evidence alone.
Oh, really? Show me what doesn't. Like where do you get history?
Later sources.
Where do you
later
get
sources
history?
Can still provide credible historical information when
like yeah,
evaluated.
sure. Archaeological digs would prove something, definitely. And I would definitely agree with any archaeologist findings if they were to be published. Nothing exists until it evidently exists, right?
That's a really high standard of evidence, I guess.
It's very simple. It's very simple.
I need to see him right in front of me, and see the blood coming out and get the fingerprints and the data and the birth records and like forensic evidence. That's not unreasonable standard for historical evidence of figures like that.
You're exaggerating because you still haven't satisfied my initial inquiry as to where is the contemporary evidence that Jesus Christ even existed as a human being. Even just as a human being. Where is the evidence?
Okay, so Socrates didn't exist.
Where? Stop it.
Socrates.
I'm asking you a question.
King Arthur.
Don't. It's very rude. It's very disrespectful to answer a question with a question.
No, but they were all written about late after they died.
We're talking about. Are we talking about Jesus, or are we talking about someone else?
Historical figures.
Are we talking about Jesus
that we believe existed?
Okay, give me an idea. Give me an example.
Socrates.
Socrates might not have existed. Socrates might not have existed, but there's a lot of writings attributed to Socrates by others. So okay,
he didn't write anything but himself.
Okay, so whatever. All right, let's say Socrates.
Plato and Xenophon.
Let's say that Socrates didn't exist. Fair enough. There's no evidence.
Okay,
Gotcha. Okay, Homer didn't exist. There's no evidence. All right.
Even though the Gospels are written based upon Homeric epics.
You see,
Homeric epics.
You're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to get anywhere when there's obviously no evidence.
Okay, Confucius didn't exist.
What? Okay, so Confucius didn't exist. All right.
Lao Tzu from the Tao Te Ching.
Oh, the guy who wrote The Art of War?
No writings from his lifetime survive.
All right, but usually usually they say, his writings exist in the writings of other people who talk about him or something like that. But it doesn't matter. Maybe that's the case. I'm not
But there's,
arguing. I'm not arguing
but
with
that
you that
like
Socrates
you're
didn't exist. I'm saying fine, okay, he didn't
you're going by
exist.
some other
I'm saying to you, fine. There's no evidence that Socrates existed other than what people say he wrote. So therefore, let's just assume, for
but these are
logical
all
sake,
widely accepted
that's
historical
fine.
figures
But logic, okay. But Socrates didn't
through
exist.
later accounts.
Socrates didn't exist according to you because there's no contemporary evidence, and I agree with you. I
No,
agree
I
with you
wouldn't agree with
100%.
that. That's not a historical
That's what you
position.
said. That's what you said. You said to me, Socrates.
I'm being
Then
facetious.
okay, well, I agreed with you. Whether you're being facetious or not, I agreed with you.
Well, then
So we can. So
you're in well, listen, you're
now
in
that we've
disagreement with
now that we've
historians.
established that Socrates didn't exist because there's no evidence, we can now apply that same logic to Jesus not existing because there's no evidence. You
Well, okay,
see?
well, I'll just say
There
you're in
you go.
disagreement with scholars,
All right, I'm
historians.
not disagreeing with scholars. I'm disagreeing with you.
There's widespread
There is not. There is
consensus
not.
among
Not in this room.
professional,
There's only two people in this room, and there's no widespread consensus of anything. There's two
among
different
scholar
sides.
historians.
There's no bullshit. I haven't seen it. You can't prove that to me. All you're doing is
Yes, I
making
can.
claims. All you're doing is making claims that you cannot substantiate. Just like a Christian would do. I mean, all Christians talk shit about when it comes to the supernatural and God and anything like that. It's all bullshit. No matter how much they say it with a straight face and look you straight in the eye and say, "Oh, Jesus
I'm not
knows
talking
you,"
about anything supernatural when I say Jesus existed as a human being.
Exactly. Where's the evidence?
Let's see.
And why would the Gospels mention
Verses.
why would the Gospels mention Jesus if he was just a human being and not a God?
Why would he be a god? Just because some people later on said he was.
That's what the Gospels say, don't they? Doesn't it? Like, what's the Gospels
Like the
all
later,
about?
the latest ones, like the
What's
John or
all
something.
about? What's no? The first one is Mark. Mark's the only one that you can really count on.
Mark, he's not a god in Mark.
Well, that's the only one you can count on then. If he's not a God in Mark, then he's not a God.
There's
at
actually
all.
no resurrection in Mark.
Exactly. Then okay, good. Then that's the one you count on. So whatever Mark says is
Yeah, this is interesting.
whatever Mark says is the only one we should take into account.
So I got to tell you something about the end of Mark. Didn't originally exist. They added on to it. It originally ended where they went to the tomb, and I guess his body was missing, and the women fled. It didn't say anything about him
That's
appearing
right.
afterwards.
They fled. They didn't talk to. They talk about it. So if they fled and they didn't talk about him, how did word get around?
So later on, some other writers added an ending to it, a longer ending to it.
All right. So it's just bullshit. If other writers added it,
Oh.
then if other writers added it, then it's bullshit. And if you rely on the
that
Gospels and the Scriptures for your evidence, then you've just explained to me that it's all bullshit.
Well, I'm explaining like the original version of Mark doesn't have the supernatural stuff, which makes it more historically reliable.
Which is because there is no. What do you mean he doesn't make? Hold on a second. Mark doesn't have the supernatural stuff.
Or it has less of it. Doesn't have him as God, and it doesn't have a resurrection appearances, which makes it more historically plausible.
So if there was only one gospel called Mark, which I must say I don't know it and I haven't read it, but if there was only one gospel Mark, what would Christianity look like?
It would be more like the early Christians were,
Which is more.
Where it's just more Jewish
which is
in
more
nature.
authentic. Yeah, it's more authentic.
Yeah, it's less Hellenized. He's just a rebellious figure trying to
Right. So
freedom
Christianity
from the Romans. You know,
Christianity itself is just a story.
I mean, all the supernatural stuff is a story. It's legend. It's
I
theological.
I hate to tell you this, but the very central, the very reason for being a Christian is for the afterlife, for everlasting life. That's the only reason that Christians are Christian.
Yeah, I guess. In Judaism, originally there was no afterlife.
There still isn't an afterlife in Judaism.
Like in the original theology,
There is
was no way
afterlife in Judaism.
there was no way to get to heaven. You know, you just go to the abode of the.
There is no afterlife in heaven. I mean, in Judaism.
Maybe like late Second Temple Judaism or something.
I said to you, hello. I didn't say late or early anything. I said there is no afterlife in Judaism. Why? Where did you come to me with this late and early and bullshit? Come on, man.
Well, there is an afterlife. It's just not a.
There's no afterlife. There's no
hell and stuff.
There's no afterlife. There can't be an afterlife. It doesn't make sense. It's irrational, and it is against. If there's an afterlife, then there's a supernatural, and there's no supernatural. So therefore, there's no afterlife.
Well, I'm just speaking purely about the theology, not about
theology.
Reality.
is philosophy, and philosophy is just words.
Belief systems are philosophy.
Absolutely. Well, communism's a belief system and it's a philosophy.
Usually with philosophy, you have reasons to justify why you believe something, right? You have a model of reality in your head based upon some evidence that you think is plausible.
Do you think that I'm outside of reality?
Faith is more irrational.
Why would I have a model of reality in my head when I'm actually living in reality? What does that even mean?
Well, I'm saying like that's what philosophy is, or that's what.
I don't care what philosophy is. I'm not a philosopher. I'm not a philosopher. I'm not want to get into philosophy because it's a waste of time.
Yeah, we've transcended it.
Then why
with
do you bring
science
it up?
And stuff. This is in relation to belief systems, how people think about the world. And philosophy is part of that. It's like the realm of the mind, the thinking world.
It's about how they think, but it's not about how it is, necessarily.
It's not a direct empirical experience.
I'm more interested in how it is.
And for that, we need science, which originated as a philosophy, yet transcended it. With fallibilism and, stuff like that. A way to demonstrate that things are the case or not.
The thing about science, it actually disproves God.
It confirms naturalism, it's based upon naturalism.
No, it disproves God.
Paradigm.
It disproves God.
Certainly the God of the Bible.
It disproves a creator.
The age of the earth and the origin of humans.
It disproves a creator.
Yeah.
So there's no question about that.
We have strong evidence for abiogenesis, especially with this Mars.
There is no evidence for a creator. It's all made up.
I would agree.
Yeah. And we can't even find evidence for Jesus as a person. Never mind for Jesus as a God.
Hopefully we'll get his bones.
Hopefully
someday.
we'll keep on looking. Yeah. We'll find we'll open up his tomb, and there it'll be. And you know what they'll see? They'll see that Jesus Christ, when they do his DNA, his mother could have been a Judean. So Mary, Judean. But hey, look, his father's got European, Roman blood. Oh my God! So the story about Pantera, maybe he's correct. So Jesus might have been a real person, and the story was that in this little village in Judea, this little girl got knocked up, and he got knocked up by this Roman soldier, and the consequences for being pregnant and not married, etc., aren't very good when you're in that region. And so she concocted the story, and of course people believe anything, just like you do, and therefore Jesus all of a sudden then it became God was the father. No, not Pantera. God himself was the father, which is stupid. The most stupid story in the world. God,
I forgot. About, I for,
what did God spoke the seed into Mary? Is that how it happened?
an angel visited her, and
An angel visited and knocked her up.
Gabriel visited her, and like said that she'll receive this Holy Spirit or something like that. And of course, she consented as a 14-year-old,
Of course, yeah. Of course.
or however old she was.
Oh, Jesus Christ, it's hilarious. I mean, I would be
Um,
embarrassed. I mean, I would be embarrassed to be a Christian.
I forgot about the early like rabbinic writings about Jesus being a mumser, which is like a
Mamzer is a bastard. In other
kind of
words,
like that. Born
illegitimate.
outside of like
Outside of
Torah
wedlock. Outside of wedlock. Yeah, yeah,
law.
illegitimate. In other words, that's right. He would be if Mary was a Jewish woman, a Jewish girl, and Pantera was this Roman soldier,
Because
and they
like
weren't married, and they had a child called Jesus, then Jesus was a bastard, an illegitimate child.
think about this. In a small village like Nazareth, everybody would know everybody what business
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
They have nothing else to do,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
they're going to be gossiping about, oh, Mary had this baby and nobody knows who the father is, and it's word spreads really quickly.
Correct. So there you go. It's more likely that it was a cover-up. If Mary existed, then it's more likely that it was a cover-up story than it was a story of divine fucking.
It's like, how old was Joseph at the time? He's like 90 or some shit. How old was he? Is the supposed?
Why would Joseph be 90?
Or I forget how old he was.
Why would he? If let's say
Maybe it was 40. No, he was like 40, wasn't
let's
he?
say Mary was 16, then I think Joseph would have been around the same age. Or at least age appropriate.
I guess I'm thinking of some other biblical figure.
Yeah, maybe.
I guess he was 18 to 20 at the time.
Okay. That doesn't really matter. He's not the father. Pantera's the father. Unless Joseph admits to, doing some hanky-panky with Mary.
I'm thinking of the Old Testament Joseph.
Why
Or
why wouldn't Joseph just admit?
Maybe she
Mary.
said that. Maybe she said that.
Why didn't Mary just admit that she fucked
Maybe she came up with it to fool Joseph, right?
Joseph's the guy who married, who was Mary's husband, right?
Yeah, there's another story about how.
Okay, hold
that came to be.
on. I'm just sticking to this one. So Joseph and Mary are married, and how did James come to be Jesus' brother? Who's the father? Who's the mother?
Joseph and Mary. Like, she's not a perpetual virgin.
So Joseph and Mary had a child named James, and James is Jesus.
Yeah,
James is Jesus' younger brother.
I think so.
Okay, so the Virgin Mary is no longer a virgin.
Yeah, he's got 4 brothers and like at least 2 sisters.
Right, with Joseph. So the Virgin Mary is not a virgin at least 4 times.
Yeah. The perpetual, like Catholic perpetual.
That's right.
virgin
So
thing.
the Catholics like to think that Mary gave birth to Jesus and never had sex again.
You know how they explain it? They say, oh, they were his cousins, or they were adopted, or something like that. That's what that church says.
Yeah, again, no evidence.
They weren't his biological brothers, or sisters. They were his adopted or nephews or cousins or something like that. Nonsense.
Yeah, well, if these stories originate from 2,000 years ago, you got to believe it.
We got to work our asses off to get to the historical kernel of things,
Yeah.
the kernel of truth.
I mean, just think how much has happened in the last 1,000 years. All right. So what's it now? 2021. Go to the year 1021, 1021. All right. and take that starting point and work forward up until today. So much shit has happened. I mean,
Just
in the year
in 4
1021,
years.
in the year 1021, Britain, England, and Scotland, and all this, there were no Vikings. It was all Britons and Celts and indigenous to the land people. It wasn't until 1066, another 40 years, that the Vikings would invade and take. Oh, sorry, the Normans would invade and take over the place. I didn't mean there were no Vikings. I meant there were no Normans. Yes, there were Vikings. There were Vikings for long before the Normans. But once the Normans came, everything changed. I mean, 100 years later, you can recognize the place.
Lots of conquests.
Exactly. So England was basically the actual British people were conquered by the French, who the Normans were.
How do you feel about British Israelism or Anglo-Israelism, where they believe they're the lost tribes of Israel, all the Anglo nations?
Never heard that before. That's a new one. So I don't know anything about that.
Oh, yeah, like Austria. I forget what all the countries are. Britain and Austria and all these Anglo nations.
And what do they think?
They think each one of these countries are where the 10 different lost tribes of Israel ended up.
When?
I don't know exactly when. Let's see.
Okay, where?
I don't know the specifics offhand. Let's see. British. Let's see. Moment. Post it in your DMs here.
No.
This comes from roots in the 16th century. Yeah, but when do they believe these tribes settled there?
Hmm?
Let's find that out. Claims. Let's see.
What are you looking up?
The dating on it. Some claim the tribes left Israel around 722 BCE, following the conquest of the Assyrian Empire. According to British Israelite writings, these exiled Israelites eventually migrated north and west through Europe, eventually reaching Britain, Ireland, and later the United States.
Oh yeah.
That they left Israel in the 8th century BCE and gradually settled in Anglo-Saxon nations over the following centuries.
8th century BCE?
Yeah.
That's nonsense because Moses wasn't the story of Moses didn't happen until about 1,800 years BCE, something like that.
Yeah, it's actually pretty recent what we're finding now.
Yeah.
Like the whole Genesis story is.
Of course, yeah.
all
It's
that.
not. It's actually not we're finding now. We've always known that. We've always known that the Genesis story, the Moses Exodus story, was about the same time of one of the pharaohs that was very powerful. So that whole story, the whole story of Jews and Moses in Egypt doesn't stand
We're finding out that it might have.
scrutiny. It doesn't
It might have been written
withstand.
around this.
It doesn't withstand
Yeah.
historical scrutiny, I should say.
Some think that Genesis and stuff might have been informed by Plato's Timaeus, his book, the Timaeus. Like they had knowledge of it. That's his second book after the Republic. So they put it like 500 or 600 BCE, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Moses is like a compilation of different figures, but not an actual real figure. Yeah. He's kind of based on Sargon of Akkad and other like lawgivers, ancient lawgivers.
So do you think that Sargon of Akkad actually existed?
Probably.
Exactly.
At least they kept records.
I mean,
right?
he's got these records, and don't forget he
Sumerian kings list.
yeah, he made a list of laws or something, didn't he? Sargon. Codified something or other.
Code of Hammurabi or or something like that.
What?
Let's see.
Oh, Code of Hammurabi. So he's yeah, that's a thing. And that was way before Judaism, I think.
What did Sargon write? Mesopotamian law codes. I guess there's not anything specific attributed to him, but there was they did have like a rudimentary 10 Commandments kind of basis. I forget which one it was.
I can't imagine that they have 10 commandments. I mean, I can't imagine that any of the ancient laws actually said, worship. I am your God. Worship me only. I'm sure that the Hammurabi, whatever they are, code, is all about justice. Well, at least we established tonight that Jesus didn't exist. That's the main thing.
Well, I'm gonna get his bones and I'll show you. Okay, I'm gonna steal them.
If you find his bones, I'll believe you.
I'm gonna break into the Templar vault in Montana.
No, you're going to go to the Vatican and break in.
I think they made that claim also that the Vatican is hiding his.
Yeah, exactly.
Bones.
The Vatican's hiding shit. That's
Also,
cool.
Peter. I guess Peter. They might have Peter's bones or something. I don't know.
Peter's bones.
It's like a crypt.
Yeah,
I guess it was built. It was built on top of a crypt, right?
I don't know.
What are they? Catacombs, right? They got a bunch of catacombs. They put churches on top of Mithraic, Mithraeums, they call them. They're like tunnels underground. They're like meeting places that hold override a different religion altogether. It's like we're stamping out the pagan past kind of thing. That was popular among the Roman government and military and stuff. Mithraism, Roman version of Mithraism. But yeah, they had these like cave type things where they would have meetings on benches, and it's really cool looking.
They have meetings on
It has
benches. Really? Wow.
Yeah, I have to show you that.
Meetings on benches
Actually, I
in
think-
caves? Oh my god, that's awesome.
It's like a temple. It's like underground, and they would hold secret meetings there.
Secret meetings.
They have a big like statue of Mithras with like slaying a bull, and there's other constellation figures and like a mural on the wall, stuff like that.
it seems to me that
It's pretty cool.
paganism, or at least Roman paganism, was was better than Christianity in that all they really did was
Yeah,
kind of burn incense and stuff like that.
they
Whereas,
did appropriate different art stuff from those religions, like with the sun discs behind their heads and stuff, to appeal to like the to pagans. Yeah, like this is the new sun god, Jesus. You know,
hmm. I didn't understand why they didn't stop with the Egyptian. Why
I
the Egyptians considered the sun as God, and I get it. The sun gives us life, so maybe the
yeah.
Egyptians were right, and we should go back to the Egyptian way of worshiping that which gives us life, and that
You
which
know,
gives us life is the
yeah,
sun.
it's very weird because there is early art inscriptions of Yahweh being like a sun disk, and then
Well,
there's
makes
talk about
sense.
Jews.
Makes sense. Makes
There's talk
sense.
about Jews having like a fire altar in the temple, um, like you see with the tabernacle. It's a pillar of smoke by day and a pillar of fire by night. Like
Hmm.
it, like God, there's this idea in Herodotus with Herodotus, figure or whatever the philosopher was at the time, that God is an all-consuming fire. You know,
There was
and
like the sun.
Zoroastrians obviously believed that, and they got influenced by that. And
So there a lot of sun god, or yeah, sun god influence.
but he's also like god of the forge. Like a blacksmithing god, Yahweh. He's a storm war deity
Yeah,
in
but we know
so,
that the sun exists and the sun gives us life. So why not worship the
so
sun?
like with the blacksmith,
The
you
blacksmith
stoke it with
doesn't
fire.
give us life. If the sun gives
I
us
know, but
life,
I'm just talking about the association with fire
why shouldn't we? Oh, okay.
and like volcanoes and stuff. Like it could be a volcano war god, with because sometimes volcanoes have storms. They have lightning storms in the volcanic lightning. It's really cool looking.
Hmm. Never seen it, but
uh
probably. I've watched volcanoes. I mean, spill. The ones in Iceland and stuff that have been
yeah, some
active lately. I've watched some of
hmm
those. Man, that
you
lava
seen it.
that comes out of there, burning, molten hot. It's amazing.
You should look up volcanic lightning. That looks crazy. It
Yeah.
looks like some scary stuff. This big old smoke clouds and lightning coming through it. I don't know, from the static electricity built up from within the mantle or something. I don't know what causes that exactly.
I don't about. Oh,
But
I don't know. But all I know is it obviously comes up from the inner earth
I mean, but yeah, like
somewhere.
blacksmithing had to seem like magic to them. Turning like creating bronze weapons and whatever.
Yeah, I wonder who figured out that you could take the metal and bang it 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 for like forever and make it stronger.
Yeah, make something useful out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, no more having to use animal bones for spears or something, or flint or whatever they're using.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, when the Bronze
Stone
Age
Age,
met
right?
the Iron Age, I sure wish I was on the side of the people with iron weapons.
Yeah. Although remember, well, so Yahweh appears during the Bronze Age, right? But then you see in Scripture he gets defeated by enemies with iron chariots.
Yeah.
He's like, well, they had iron chariots, and so
Exactly. Exactly.
we were
So,
defeated.
uh-huh. So that you know
That's funny.
exactly what when these things were written
They had
during
some
that
other superior
switchover.
god, that
I
could
think
create
that was
iron.
like 1200 BC was the Iron Age or the bronze to iron switch.
Yeah,
I might be wrong, but
that had to have been devastating.
well, it was devastating to the bronze weapons
Yeah,
owners.
like
I want my money back.
we got these soft little weak things. They get cut in half by iron swords. can only imagine. Or they're like hitting their armor and just like breaks or something. Sword breaks.
Well, I don't know. I've never seen what happens between iron and brass in a war in a fight. But what I've read
Yeah.
is that the reason that those with brass weapons lost the fight against those with iron weapons was because the iron was stronger than the bronze.
Yep.
Did I say brass? I meant bronze.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Okay. Well, we've been yakking here for a couple of hours, and all we've done is proven that Jesus Christ didn't exist. But that's
And we
a
did
pretty
well.
that's a pretty good result for a discussion.
Also discovered life on Mars.
And we oh yes, life on Mars billions of years before life on Earth. Love it.
Yep.
I love it. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye creation. Creationism. Bye bye.
Mm-hmm.
It's all over. Bye bye.
Once we prove abiogenesis without a shadow of a doubt, like that's game over.
When do you think that's going to happen?
Yep.
Do you think,
We're getting more evidence for it, I
do you
think,
think
in
this
recent
this
times.
Mars, this leopard spots on Mars are going to be a catalyst?
It's one piece of evidence, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it all depends what it is.
Yeah. I think it's microbes, like where they like defecated or something, or they left some remains behind. That's what I think I read.
I just hope they can somehow find a way to bring those into the lab.
Yep. Well, definitely. I'm sure they'll send a rover there whenever they can. Yeah. Collect samples.
Yeah, and let me just call Elon and ask him to get one ready. Hey, Elon, can you get a rover ready for Mars? They've got to pick up some microbial life.
They'd be like, no, we have
Thank you.
we have to protect religion. You know, it serves me very well.
Yeah.
It's a national security risk.
Yeah, right. It's just like they're saying they weren't allowed to tell us about what's in Area 51 because if we found out, it would ruin civilization or something.
Oh, you know what? There was something interesting about supposed UFO being hit by a missile. There's video of that, but it's not a UFO. It's what I think it is like a aluminum or like a foil thing that's being dragged behind an airplane.
Exactly.
But they're pretending like it's it's a military video of an unidentified object. And,
People will believe anything.
They have these
especially if
like
your name's Von Helton.
they have these like I forget what they're called. These things that they drag behind airplanes. It's like an aluminum or metal thing.
Yeah, there's a name for it. I can't remember.
But the video looks weird because the missile like hits it, breaks off some pieces, and it keeps going. You know. So for the UFO community, it's like, whoa, look at that. You know. But I think it's like a drone or something, simple object.
I think it's a drogue that gets like a submarine that's pulling something. They're pulling a drogue. I think that's what it's
Could
called.
be. 'Cause it's like right above the water line, right? It's like hovering over the water, going over the ocean. Low flying altitude, I guess. No one.
You know what the shitty thing about conclusively proving that Jesus didn't exist is that now we've got nothing to talk about.
Well, we can. There was other first century would-be Jewish Messiah
Yeah, let's talk
claimants
about them.
at his time, in and around his. It's a hot thing, you know. It's like casting call for them or something. Who's gonna step up and be the one to lead us?
Your whatever you were saying dropped
And
off.
there's this expectation, you know, in the Dead Sea Scrolls and other communities are like counting down the days for the doomsday calendar and stuff like that. Apocalypticism, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you say they've been
So
doing
first,
this, and they've been doing this for what, 2,000 years now?
think of all the different roles he plays, you know.
Who?
Jesus, as a figure.
Oh.
He's apocalyptic preacher. He's a exorcist, priest, a king. Lots of different roles. You know, like what didn't he do in this writings? Or maybe like the way it seems like the story evolved. You know, he started out just a local preacher, and then he's like, "Oh, are you the Messiah? Yeah, maybe I am." He's thinking, maybe I am. Kind of like The Life of Brian, right? If you've ever seen
I
that film.
believe the life of Brian. I love the life of Brian. In fact, I would say that Brian is more real than Jesus.
Like he was just a nobody, but he became somebody through pressure, like social pressure, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's again.
You know,
Look, the life of
kind of like
Brian
Luke
is a
Skywalker. You know,
story,
like
and the life of
the
Jesus is a
reluctant
story.
hero, like Luke Skywalker. You know, the hero's journey kind of thing. It's like, oh shit, I'm in too deep now. I gotta keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Sunken costs fallacy, right?
Listen, I'm gonna bring this discussion to a close because I'm getting tired. I need to go to bed.
All right, sounds
We'll
good.
definitely continue it. I mean, it's tomorrow Saturday and then Sunday, and if Von Helton's not active, then we can spend time discussing. Maybe we can get more people in. Could be fun.
Cool. Sounds good.
All right.
Catch you next time.
All right, man. I appreciate
Later.
you participating. Thanks a lot.
Likewise. See ya.
Okay, see ya. Okay, everybody. I'm going to end it there, and we are going to fade to black as we do.